When hope is gone, undo this lock and send me forth on a moonlit walk. Release restraint level 0. Hey kids, wanna see a dead body?
Hi guys, this is the Void of the Ravenclaw. Welcome back to another fanfiction story. If you like this type of content, smash the like button and subscribe for future videos and updates that I do post on my community tab frequently. You're going to get access to any of my early content. Check out the Discord. This is the bargain between an evil god and a villain, part 6. Before we begin this, I've been kind of busy, so I haven't been able to record this as soon as I wanted, so I do apologize ahead of time. Now let's get right into this. We're going to continue. We're going to continue our story off where Izuku is in his base of operation, humming to himself, creating more round electric grenades, and begin to casually drop them in the crate. There was already 4 full small crates filled with electric grenades. While Izuku was concentrating on making his electric grenades, one after another, Zelik felt several magical signatures on the other side of the city, but it vanished soon afterwards. Zelik immediately identified the magical signatures, who they belonged to. You could clearly tell they were from his original dimension. It's uncertain if they're here for him, but he's not worried. They're not a threat. Regardless who's ever appeared here onto this planet from his dimension. But he's going to have to suppress his presence in magic, making it hard for them to track him down if they're here for him. And Zelik has always trusted his instincts. And his instincts is telling him to lay low. They'll come for him eventually. They'll most likely try to attempt to kill Izuku just by association. Zelik has no intention of telling Izuku. He's quite curious on how he'll fight someone from his dimension. Someone with the full capability of actually killing him easily. Magic is far more superior than these genetic abilities that these humans have acquired in this dimension. Despite that, the abilities are quite diverse. But magic is still far more superior. That's why he's been slowly manipulating and altering Izuku's quirk to make it more superior. Zelik is slowly inverting the drawback of Izuku's quirk to feed off magic. It's a slow pace. And this dimension has basically a large quantity of magic that hasn't been tapped in yet. He was already going to have his abilities to run on magic in the first place when Izuku arrives in his dimension. He's just speeding up the process a little bit. When he does die, he won't be a human anyways. It won't matter at the end of the day. He's already copied the version of his quirk to integrate into the new body of Izuku. He can't send him directly to his dimension. There are rules. Even he has to follow the rules. Only way for Izuku to travel to his dimension is either through a hero summon, and his partner is no hero. So reincarnation is the only option. Somewhere in the same city, Lydia and her holy knights found an empty building and decloaked themselves from their invisible spell. I want a head count. Yes, ma'am. We're all here. Good. We're in an unknown dimension. Their technology is clearly more advanced than ours. What I can sense on this planet is filled with magic. It clearly hasn't been tapped into yet. So the people of this world is unaware of magic, so far we know. I'm surprised on the quality of the magic on this world. It's quite strong. Not as strong as our dimension, but it's still strong nevertheless. It's still impressive. We need to proceed with caution. I want all you to scout out the city and remain unseen. We need to know what sort of place this is, and I will not have us go in blind. Move out. All of the white cloaked figures became invisible and immediately ran out of the windows, scouting out the city. Meanwhile, Lydia sat down and began to sharpen her sword. After her sword was nice and sharpened, she began to place magical seals all around the building, of the interior of the building, making the building completely invisible to the locals. If they crossed by the area, they would only see a vacant lot. When approaching the area of the building where they're making their temporary base of operation. You can't hide forever, you evil abomination. I will find you, and I will rid you of this dimension and ours. I will destroy your rot. I will stop the rot, decay, and corruption. As she slammed her sword in the middle of the room, activating all the magical sigils, as some of the larger sigils come to life, as a large one came in the middle of the room, where she stabbed her sword, activating the smaller magical sigils, making the building completely invisible to the outside world. Meanwhile, Impulse and All Might was on another patrol. Impulse got a notification on one of the villains he's been tracking. He made himself known. They immediately went back to the hero agency. As All Might and Impulse watched a video clip from one of the civilian phones of the heist at the museum and the fight between Captain Celebrity and Grim. So that's what he's going by, Grim. Captain Celebrity, alright. Stab looked pretty nasty. According to what I dug up, he's fine. He's just gonna be off duty for a while. Being stabbed in the stomach would do that to you. We gotta figure out what his next move is going to be. He clearly never stays idle for very long, considering his recent activities. It won't be long before he makes another move, if we're lucky. He might lead us to Muscular and his sister Apex. I would have to agree. And my friend, it's only a matter of time. We'll just have to wait and see, All Might. As we change the scene back to Izuku, who is still creating inventions after inventions. See, as Izuku wipe off the sweat off his forehead with a rag, and place the last thing on his combat knife, turning his normal combat knife into a legit combat knife, just with a simple switch of a button that's on the handle. As the knife begins to electrify, I'm going to have to fix that. Possibly some sort of fingerprint scanner on the handle of the combat knife, but this will work for now. Izuku decided to get dressed to see what sort of trouble he could get himself into as Grim. He left his home base operation, eventually traveling deeper into the city, jumping from rooftop to rooftop. Grim felt he was in mortal danger and leaped to the side as a spike ball passed by him. A morning star specifically slammed onto the roof where he was originally standing before he dodged out of the way. Found you, bastard. And here, brother thought me going out tonight would be a waste of time. You're gonna pay for what you did. Izuku tilt his head, or Grim, tilt his head to the side. And what exactly did I do? Don't give me that bullshit. Don't try to act cute. You know what you did. You blew up several of our merchandise and stole the rest. So, what's your point, Blondie? You're dead. As she rushed towards swinging the Morning Star, that the spike chain ball, began to swing outwards, directly heading towards Grim's head. Grim leaned backwards as the spike chain ball barely misses his forehead. Grim immediately leapt backwards and jumped on the other side of the roof. As he slid to a stop, Apex followed, swinging her Morning Star from left to right, while the ball chain returned back to his original position on the Morning Star, turned into a normal spike mace. Grim dodged each swing of her Morning Star and kicked her off the roof. Grim got a running start and jumped off as he did a upside down flip right above Apex and throw several bone daggers and electric grenades at her. As she dodged the bone daggers, but got hit by the electric grenades, electrifying her. As she fell and landed on top of a car. As she got up and proceeded to get access to one of the fire escapes from a nearby building. Izuku jumped off another roof, rolled, and continued running without losing any momentum. Apex easily start to reflect bone daggers with her Morning Star as Grim starts to throw his bone daggers at her when she was giving chase. She got too close. Grim kicked her off the roof. In mid-fall, she grabbed on the side of the fire escape and pulled herself up and made her way back up on the roof of the building and continued to give chase to Grim. So you're playing hard to get, Grim? I've always enjoyed a good chase. As she easily caught up to him, running right beside him and swinging her Morning Star at his head, only for Grim to block the attempt and begin to run faster, leaping from rooftop to rooftop, trying to get some distance. You definitely can't take a hint. You're persistent, you're very persistent for a woman. As he throws another bone dagger at her, Apex easily moves her head to the side, dodging the bone dagger, only giving him a smirk. Run all you want, but I'll get you at the end of the day. It's only a matter of time. I gotta admit, you're pretty good. Your pure stamina was lasting longer than I thought you would. As she moved faster, appeared right in front of Grim and slammed her Morningstar into his stomach, throwing Grim flying into a nearby window from a opposite building. The building is run down, condemned. Normally the devil on his shoulder would be talking non-stop in this sort of situation. But oddly enough, Zelik's been oddly quiet. But he couldn't think on that right now, as Apex came crushing through an opposite window in the building. Grim created a thick bone gauntlet that covered his entire arms, as he blocked an incoming Morningstar with the forearm of his bone gauntlet. It managed to absorb majority of the hit, making him go sliding backwards across the ground on the other side of the room. You're very persistent, I'll give you that, but I had enough of this. As he charged forward, ducking under her Morningstar swing, and slammed his elbow into her stomach, then grabbing her by the hair and roughly throwing her out of the only window that hasn't been broken into, as she fell on top of the car. Grim came flying downwards, slamming his elbow into her stomach, making her cough up spit. As he leaped off of her stomach, as he leaped off of her, as something fell, as it started to roll metallic devices in her direction. There were the round objects. Dozens of his electric grenades was falling towards her. They immediately went off, one after another, as she was electrified with large amounts of electricity. He was already gone. He immediately took off before Apex could recover. Grim used his opportunity to make his escape. He's already hearing the police sirens in the distance. He took his leave, leaving the area, immediately walking into a shadow portal. Meanwhile, Apex grunted and rolled off the car onto her feet as she begins to fix her clothes. Irritated, as she starts to fix her hair from the static electricity, she staggered her way across the street into a alleyway. As her entire body was numb, she can't move properly yet, so she has to get out of here, out of the area immediately. She would be a sitting duck if she get caught by the police or some sort of wandering hero. She growled at the snarkiness of the punk once again. He managed to escape. Underestimated the kid. She'll admit that. But Grim is getting on her nerves. But at the same time, she's enjoying the hunt. It's not very often a fellow villain could give her so much trouble. Don't get it wrong. She's highly upset by all of the trouble. that he's been causing her. At the same time, she's enjoying herself, but she's going to have to pay him back for ruining her outfit once again. The moment Izuku got back to his base of operation, he immediately got on his laptop in his office and searched the internet for any reference for Apex, the female villain. He came across twice already. The first time was by design, but the second time was by complete accident. Izuku hacked into the Japanese police department database. It wasn't hard to find Apex's criminal record. Well, look at that. That's quite impressive list of crimes that's been recorded. It's quite long, but impressive still. He was interrupted by his phone going off. He checked the caller ID. It identified that his mother is calling. He answered the phone. He talked to Inko for about almost an hour and a half. She wanted to check up on him and make sure he's doing all right. Once he got done talking to his mother and took care of her worries, he's doing fine. He went home, taking the portal. It didn't really take him long to get home. It was already pretty late, so he decided to go preheat some of the pre-cooked meals that was in the refrigerator, as he took out some of the freezer for tomorrow night, so it could defrost. When he gets hungry again for tomorrow's night's dinner, he ate his dinner. After that, he took a brief shower and went to bed. Izuku spent a couple days laying low, trying to figure out how he's going to handle Apex. She's becoming a little too persistent for his liking. He also needs to make up a game plan to take out the Musclehead as well. That's going to be a lot more challenging. As much as Izuku would like to get it done with, but that's not possible at the current moment. He has to prepare for visitors. His mother informed him on the phone call that the Bakugo family is coming by for a visit. They're taking a vacation and they're currently in America, so they're stopping by for the rest of the time they're here in the US. So his villain activities is going to have to put on the hold for now, while the Bakugo family is present. Izuku doesn't really remember them very well. He remembers he used to play with Katsuki, but that was ages ago. He was just a boy then. He barely remembers him. Even though they moved out of Japan, apparently his mother kept contact with the woman. Izuku has met Mitsuki a few times when he was in America for whatever reason. He never really cared. He never really paid no mind. But clearly they kept their friendship going, even though they live in different countries now. Like I said, he never really paid no mind to Mitsuki and her family. Izuku's going to have to do some cleaning around the house to make sure everything's ready, and get the spare bedrooms ready for when they arrive sometime tomorrow. But he can do that all in the morning. For now, he needs to get some rest. He went to bed after a quick shower. Well, shower, then bed. The next morning, he did his daily routine, waking up bright and early, and doing his morning exercises after breakfast. Once the sun began to rise, he started to do housework around the house, cleaning around the house. Luckily, there wasn't much for him to do. Inko usually keeps the household quite clean, so he didn't have to do much. And he has been picking up after himself throughout this entire time his mother's been gone. So he hasn't really left any big messes. Once that was done, he started to get the spare bedroom prepared and clean, and got some clean sheets, quilt, blankets that he needed for his guests. Izuku decided to wash all of the blanket, sheets, pillowcases in the washer. Once all the bedding was washed and dried, proceeded to put them on the bed, or make the beds basically, and went into the kitchen and filled up some water. Proceeded to make some tea. As he went outside, proceed to make some tea while filling up the water with the water canister, and begin to go outside to water all the plants of his mother's garden, of her personal garden. After he watched all the plants, water all the plants in the garden, flowers in front of the house, he went inside and made sure the tea was ready. Or once he walked inside to fully make the tea, he just started to boil the water. That was done. He proceeded to take the pitcher and a glass filled with ice to the front patio and pour himself some iced tea while sitting on the bench or a chair, depending on how you want to describe it, and start to read while he's waiting for the Bakugo family to arrive. When he got halfway through the engineer book, a car pulled up in the driveway. 3 people exit the car. Mitsuki with her twins, Katsuki and Izumi Bakugo. Is that you, Izuku? Hello, Miss Bakugo. You can just call me Mitsuki. Dear, you grew up so fast and handsome. And she crushed him in a tight hug. Hey, old hag, you're cutting off his air supply. Shut up, brat. Sorry about that, dear. As she let go of him. Before her brother could say anything else, she hit him in the back of the head with the palm of her hand. Don't call Mama old hag, you ungrateful bastard. Alright, children, that's enough. I'm sorry about them, they're a handful. Quite alright, Mitsuki. Here, let me help you carry those. As he begins to help the Bakugo family carry their luggages inside. Thank you, that's most appreciated. See? Brat. Wish you could be more like Izuku here. Bakugo only grumbled to himself and pulled his luggage inside. After taking all Mitsuki's luggage inside, he helped Izumi take hers as well. Thanks, green hair. At least you're a gentleman, unlike my idiot brother. No problem. I'm Izumi, by the way. Pretty boy. Izuku. Izuku doesn't really remember her. He's only interacted with her brother when he was younger. He barely remembers that. He's always knew the blonde had a twin sister, but he's never actually met her outside of today. He showed them around the house and their rooms they'll be staying in while they're staying here. The twins immediately went into their own rooms to unpack their things, while Mitsuki did the same thing. Hey, old hag, I'm heading out. I'm gonna check out that arcade I saw on the way here. Over here. Just don't cause any trouble, brat. No fights. No blowing up anyone with your quirk. Got it, old hag. You're acting like I'm some sort of hooligan. Some sort of street punk. I have restraint. as he grumbled to himself as he began to go towards the front door. Hey, you probably need this, as Izuku threw him a spare key. Thanks, nerd, as Bakugo left to go to the arcade. Hey, Mom, I'm taking the pretty boy with me here, as she grabbed him by the collar of his shirt. You're gonna show me around this city, pretty boy. As she dragged Izuku towards the front door. Mitsuki only gave Izuku a sympathetic look. Just don't stay out too late. I'll be back before dark. Come on. Burn light is burning. As she dragged Izuku out. Izumi took Izuku around the city, just using him as a translator. She doesn't speak English. She only speaks Russian and Japanese. Izumi noticed some sort of festival in the distance. She wants to check what's that's going on over there. She wants to check it out. So naturally, she wrapped her arm around Izuku, heading that direction, pulling him along, regardless if he was wanting to go or not. His compliance is not really his choice. As she started to play several carnival games, when they arrived, winning different type of prizes. She basically ordered him to win her a prize, because she's having bad luck. Izuku noticed there was no hostility in her words. Girls has always been demanding. He could probably decline, but that will probably make the situation worse. He knows what happens when women get angry, so he just didn't really care and won her a few things. As he begins to win the carnival games because they were cheating, and Izuku's he's not stupid. Izuku wants her some sort of large plushie, stuffed animal basically. She hugged the tiger in her hands, or in her arms, as she continued to drag him around, riding all sorts of carnival rides. She just wants to have fun, despite how she looks from the outside, arrogant, rude. Only defense mechanisms to protect herself from getting herself hurt. There's always boys trying to win her affection or her favor. With every boy she's ever interacted with outside of her brother, they just see her as a pretty face, or just want to get close to her because of how powerful her quirk is. She shares the same quirk as her brother. They're twins. It's quite common for twins to share the same type of powers. It's not unheard of. It's rare. Or she has more than just explosions at her disposal, unlike her brother. She could use explosions that she has access to, and can use fire. Apparently her quirk mutated a little bit differently than her brother, giving it a fire aspect to her quirk. She discovered that aspect of her quirk by pure accident. She was training when she discovered it, but she kept it a secret, an ace under her sleeve. After she was satisfied with all the different kinds of rides at the festival, she dragged Izuku to a cafe that she saw when they were walking towards the festival in the first place, or the carnival. I don't know, like, it's just a festival anyway. I'm not really gonna go into that. She took him to the cafe that she saw while they were driving towards Izuku's house. When they sat down, when they got closer to the cafe, I skipped ahead by accident a little bit, but anyways, let's continue. The moment she got closer to the cafe, she saw a large stadium, the Cork Blast Tournament Stadium, in the distance, not that far away, like a couple blocks away. They got inside the cafe. They both took a seat at the far end of the table, of the far end of the room, basically. But I've been meaning to ask you this, pretty boy. What's that stadium over there across the road, like a couple blocks away? I believe that is the Cork Blast Tournament Stadium. What the fuck is a Cork Blast Tournament? It'll be easy to show you. We'll check it out once we're done here. I believe they hold competitions during the summer. If we're lucky, we might be able to catch a few matches. I'll give you the short explanation. Many high schools in this city take part of the Cork Blast Tournament. It's usually a team of twos, but it's not necessary strictly the teams of twos. I don't know much about it. I've never heard anything like that before. Japan doesn't have anything like that. This is the US. They're a lot more lenient when it comes to cork usage in public. Outside of the high school division, there's also a pro division of the Cork Blast Tournament out here in the US. It's quite a popular sport. So you haven't been into this tournament before? No. There's no middle school division. Usually during the summer, they host public matches for anyone that want to test their skills against each other. Izumi was clearly interested, judging by her smirk on her face. That's where I'm going to stop it there. I'll catch you guys in the next part.